Hey, it's Braden, and we're going to talk through the 6 investing accounts everyone should have. I studied finance in school, and the more and more that I learned, the more that I realized it was really easy to find information about businesses and finance. Like I was taught it in school, I could Google it, I was on Reddit, I was on YouTube videos, it was all over. But as soon as I started Googling and trying to figure out how is Donald Trump not paying taxes? How did Elon Musk do this? I realized that there was almost like a paywall that I could not figure out how to get through to actually figure out how to invest, how to get the accounts they were, how to not pay taxes like they were, and actually get ahead in life. Fast forward 10 years, I've opened up multiple companies. I actually started to make money and I started to invest, and I made it my mission to figure out how to do it and then give that information everywhere else. And that's where I started my Instagram page. Started an Instagram page about a year ago. We have millions of followers, and this is exactly what I do. And today I'm going to walk through the 6 accounts that everyone should have. This is the first thing you should do to get on your way. Honestly, a lot of you are going to open up these 6 accounts, and that's enough to get you to retirement. The Millionaire Next Door is a phenomenal book that talks about this. Most millionaires on social media are driving nice cars and living in nice houses, but statistically, the average millionaire is driving a Honda Accord, lives in a 2,500 square foot house, and is just like your neighbor right next to you. They are the people that are actually saving their money, investing smart and wise, and becoming millionaires and financially secure. So we're going to walk through the 6 different accounts. I will tell you how much you need to invest in each of them, how I would break apart my paycheck, and then figure out where you're at and which one you need to open. Number 1, we're starting it off real easy, and this is your 401k. If you were working for an employer that has a 401k, you likely just opened it without even trying. Okay, you signed up for the job on onboarding day, they opened up your 401k and you didn't even think about it. Where I'm going to differ from the majority of people is I actually don't think this should be where most people put their money. A lot of people, this is their only investing strategy, is they just put money into their 401k, comes out of their paycheck, and it can be a good investment, but I'm going to put a small caveat here, okay? You can put 3 to 5% of your paycheck into your 401k if your company has a 401k match. If they don't have a 401k match, we're going to go do the other 5 accounts before we ever put into 401k, because statistically, it's actually not a great investment if they're not matching it. So first, the first thing you're doing is putting money into a 401k if your company has a match. If they have a match, it's free money. Like, you'd be an idiot not to take it. If you'll put in $5,000 and they'll match it with $5,000, that is the only guaranteed 100% return you will ever have in your life. Take advantage of it every single time. But if your company doesn't have a 401k, skip step 1 and go to step 2. Step 2 is an individual retirement account, or an IRA. The reason I like an IRA better is your 401k will likely have more management fees and will restrict what you can actually invest in. When your company is opening up the 401k, there's an administrator there. That administrator needs paid, and so likely it's going to have more fees than it actually should. An IRA is an individual retirement account, so you don't have to go through an administrator. You don't have to have someone force you into these 3 investment tranches. You get to choose what you invest in. You get to find really low ETFs. And so likely it'll actually return you more money than a 401k will if you're not getting a match. So this is why you should go to an IRA. Now, the first question all of you are going to ask me, should I do a Roth IRA or traditional IRA? The answer actually isn't that black and white. So I'm going to explain it right here. Stay with me. This is a little bit technical, but we'll get to the other accounts, but you really need to understand this as we move on. What a Roth IRA does is you pay taxes on the money today, so you don't have to pay taxes when you pull the money out. So if you make $10,000, you're going to pay $2,000 of taxes. You put $8,000 into your Roth IRA. That Roth IRA is going to grow for 40 years. And at the end of 40 years, you can start pulling money out of there and you're not paying any taxes. A traditional is the exact opposite. You're going to put money in today before it's even taxed. It's a write-off on your taxes. So you make $10,000, you put in $10,000. Now there's contribution limits, but just for round numbers, you put in $10,000. That money's going to grow for 40 years. It's going to be worth millions of dollars later on. When you pull it out, you're going to be taxing on it then. The fact of the matter is, if you put in the same amount into both of them and are taxed at the same rate today and 40 years from now, you will end up with the exact same amount of money. A Roth IRA is not better than a traditional, and a traditional is not better than a Roth IRA. What you really need to ask yourself is, am I going to be taxed more today or in the future when I'm pulling this out? That will be the answer whether you're going to do a Roth IRA or traditional. The online gurus and everyone will say Roth IRA, Roth IRA, Roth IRA. And while yes, I do think a Roth IRA is phenomenal, it's not the answer to everyone. You need to understand what you're actually doing, decide which one you're going to invest in, and move forward on that one. But step number 2 is an IRA. You should be putting about 5 to 7% of your annual income into your IRA. Now, depending on how old you are and how much you make, these percentages are going to change, but I'm just going to give you a general rule of thumb. Most of you should be investing 15% of your income. If you're not there, we'll do a budgeting one later because we need to get you there. If you can't invest 15% of your income, we've got to get you out of consumer debt and we've got to get a budget handled, because 15 should be the bare minimum. But if you're investing 15% of your income, this is how we're breaking it up. We're doing 3 to 5 inside the 401k, then 5 to 7 inside your IRA. The next account that everyone should have is an HSA, or a health savings account. Now, this is different than what most of you think it is. Most of you in the past have had a health savings account through an employer. And what you do is you load it up and then you spend it like a credit card for those expenses throughout the year. Yes, you can use an HSA that way, but there's actually a little game you can play with an HSA that makes it the best investment vehicle of any of them, better than the first two. An HSA is the only triple threat account inside the entire IRS tax code. What that means is you can put money in tax-free, it's a write-off. It can grow tax-free inside the account, and you can withdraw it tax-free. It's the only triple threat inside the entire IRS code, and most people don't know about it or utilize it properly. And we can take it even a step further, and the cool part is most of you didn't even know you can invest it. When you put, let's say, $5,000 into an HSA, you can invest it in stocks and ETFs just like your IRA. It's an amazing investment vehicle, and it can continue to grow. Now, here's even one more step, okay? I'm going to make this even better for you. The HSA tax code currently reads that all you have to do is submit a bill that needs to be paid or has been paid, and you can be reimbursed from that HSA for those expenses. The only funds you can pull out of an HSA are for health expenses. So what you can do is, and this is what we're currently doing, is I had a kid 2 years ago. We had to have a C-section. It was expensive. I don't remember what our out-of-pocket is. Let's say it was $10,000 out of pocket to have that kid. That $10,000 bill, I actually set up on a payment plan and I just paid it out of pocket. But that bill, I kept it. That bill is filed away right now. And I'm going to let that HSA money just keep growing for the next 40 years because compound interest is on my side. When I'm 60 years old and I have a $200,000 HSA and it's time for me to start cashing it out, I'm going to take 40 years of bills that I've been paying self out of pocket because of my deductibles and everything else. I'm going to drop it on the counter and say, I want to withdraw $200,000 tax-free. They don't care if that bill is 5 days old or 40 years old. You will get reimbursed and take advantage of the triple threat. The HSA is an amazing tax vehicle that every single one of you should be doing. Make sure to do some research. You have to have the right healthcare plan. You have to make sure it qualifies for an HSA. There's contribution limits, stuff like that. But do your research because it is a phenomenal investment advice that most of you don't have. And this is probably the first one where you guys are writing the to-do down right now because you need to open it up. We put 3 to 5 in a 401k. We put 5 to 7 in an IRA. We put about 4% in an HSA. The next one is going to ruffle some feathers, but this is a cryptocurrency account. In today's age, cryptocurrency is one of the only investments you can make that can truly take you out of the middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class, wherever you are. It is the only investment, in my opinion, that can 10x, 20x, 100x in the next 5 to 10 years. If crypto can do what it's saying it's going to do, it will be worth a ton of money. Now, it's very risky. Do your own research. Okay, we need to make sure we know what we're investing in. But in my opinion, everyone should have 1% of their net worth inside cryptocurrency because if it does what it does, you don't want to lose out on that. If you can get $5,000 in there over the next 5 years and it can 100x, that turns into $500,000. Like that's life-changing money and we only risk $5,000. It's a great risk reward, in my opinion. Do your research, but I think everyone should have 1% of their net worth inside cryptocurrency in the off-shot chance that it can actually deliver on what they say they can deliver on. Okay, at this point, we're going to pivot back to a 401k. The reason I'm going back to a 401k is because if you did not have a company match, you have not gone into your 401k yet. You did your IRA first, then you did your HSA, you put 1% in crypto. Now we're back to the 401k. This is where people will invest in the 401k if they don't have a company match. Okay, if you did, you're first. If you don't, you're fourth. It's still a good investment. You get to write it off your taxes. It has some good benefits. But in my opinion, you should do the other 3 first and now get to the 401k if you don't have a company match. Number 5 is going to be a high yield savings account. Every single American should have a high yield savings account. If you don't, you're just throwing the money away. The purpose of a high yield savings account is to keep up with inflation. That's mentally the best way to do it. And so if you have a survival fund set aside or some funds set aside for that rainy day, you've got $5,000 over there, $10,000, whatever it is, okay? We've conquered consumer debt. We're out of consumer debt. You have a little money set aside for emergencies, and now you're starting to invest. That money that's set aside for emergencies, if you stick that in a checking account or a savings account, every single year, you're going to lose 2, 5, if it was last year, 9% of that money to inflation. Okay, you're just washing money down the drain when you're trying to be financially smart and have money set aside for that rainy day, but you're not doing the smart thing and putting it in a high yield savings account. What a high yield savings account will do is that money will keep up with inflation. So you actually grow. So if you put $10,000 in there last year with high yield savings account rates, you would have made like $500. You didn't really make $500. You just kept up with inflation. So now at your annual review of your finances, finances, you can look at your survival fund and not have to allocate any more money there because it kept with inflation. So that $500, it made it for you just because it returned that much, and you don't have to even worry about it. Every single person should have a high yield savings account. Stop depositing money into a checking account and a savings account. They're just taking your money and loaning it out and making money off you. There's a Ponzi scheme I won't get into, but they're making money off you and you're the loser in that scenario. Open up a high yield savings account, become the winner, and actually keep your money in there. Every American should have this. I don't know why they don't. There are so many high yield savings accounts, and a lot of them come and go, and there's all these little flashy stuff. You need to go to a tried and true, reliable high yield savings account that you know is going to have a good return for the next 5, 10, 15 years. I'll put a link down below to my favorite ones because you don't want to hop on the bandwagon of some up and coming one and then it falls down and you end up making no money again. Click the link down below. I'll help you with that one if you need some help. If you've already got a high yield savings account, don't worry about it, okay? It's a pain in the butt to have to move from savings account to savings account, okay? I don't care which one you go with, but if you need one, there's a great list down below. And number 6 is my catch-all. We're trying to invest 15%. If you go through these percentages, it's 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 4, 1, and then at the very, very end is a brokerage account. What a brokerage account is this is your way to invest in stocks. There's no tax advantages here. This is not a retirement account. You can go in and out of this account as much as you want in a year. So how I use this final account, mine's set up with Vanguard. It's really easy to set up. I have no affiliation to them. They're a great place, so that's where I put my money. But if I have any leftover money, I get a tax refund or I get a bonus or I get a Christmas gift I don't know. If I have any extra money, I'm just throwing it into the brokerage account. And I just throw money in there after year after year after year. And this is where I accumulate it. It's always invested in a broad-based ETF like S&P 500, VOO, VTI. I don't care. Do your research. And I just let it accumulate, sometimes for months, sometimes for years, until I have enough money in there to go do an investment I'm excited about. I'll take the money out and go buy a rental property. I'll take the money out and go do a syndication. I'll take the money out and go start a business. I don't care what it is, but this is just my accumulation spot, sometimes for years, until I have something I'm excited about, and then I can pull it out and go invest it. But if you follow this waterfall, think of it like a waterfall. Fill the first bucket, go to the next one. Fill that bucket, go to the next one. Fill that bucket, go to the next one. These 6 accounts are the best accounts that every American should have. And this is statistically the most proven way for the most amount of Americans to become a millionaire. Now, every situation's different, but all of you think you're the anomaly. You're not, okay? 95% of Americans could follow these 6 steps, get financially independent, financially secure, and become a millionaire just by following these steps. Now, I do a lot of other advice, okay? Stick around. We do investments into a whole bunch of different accounts, okay? I love investing in heavy machinery, Airbnb, drop shipping. I have Amazon business. Like, yes, I play with a lot of different investments, but the fact of the matter is those are fun, those are flashy, those are the get rich quick, and those take a lot of time and a lot of effort. If you want tried and true way to become a million, these 6 counts are the way to do it. I love creating these videos. If you found value in this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because it allows me to make more videos like this so that I can take the information that took me years to figure out and give it to more of you so you guys can become financially secure.